is Crystal with Pineapple Papers, and welcome to round 3 of the Secret Not Secret telephone YouTube hop. So this is the third time we've done it, which is super exciting. It's so much fun. So it's like back in the day where you'd all sit in a circle and somebody whispered something in somebody's ear, and by the time it got back to that person, it was like a totally different saying. So, this is no different. It's just with scrapbook layouts. So things do end up totally different than where they started. So I am almost at the end of the hop. Rachel is tomorrow, and she is the end of our team. So I received my layout from Kristen, and you can see her layout up there in the top. And so the first thing that I really pulled from her layout was the idea of all of these torn strips of paper. And she either tore them or roughed up the edges, I'm not sure, but I decided to tear mine with my T-square ruler just so it was a little more of a controlled tear. And I am using the Flourish collection from Maggie Holmes, and I just love this piece of paper. This piece of paper just totally reminds me of the water, and so I am going to do 2 pictures of my daughter fishing, and so I thought, you know what, this is perfect. So mine is just one piece of paper, where you can tell Kristen's is several pieces of paper. So a little bit different there, but same kind of idea and style. And I am going to keep the format the same, where I have the torn strips or the strips of paper on the bottom, as well as the strips of paper on the top. Now, she used one photo. I am actually going to use 2 photos, mainly because she kept catching seaweed. So that's the big photo. And then in the little photo, her dad actually let her reel in a fish. So she did get a fish, but she mainly got seaweed. So that's why I actually use the seaweed picture as kind of my bigger one. So I am not doing the same layering on the top as the bottom. So you can kind of see in Kristen's photo that she has all the same patterns on the bottom as she has on the top. And like I said, I'm just using one sheet of paper. So it's just that gradual increase. So it looks like she has a little bit of splatters on her layout. So I decided to pull out this bubblegum shimmers, and I am going to mix it up a little bit and do a little bit of just some packaging technique behind the photos instead of splatters, just to give kind of that black and white a little interest. And normally I put my shimmers on my plastic and then I add some water. This time it did not. So hopefully you can see in the close-ups that it did add like more texture than just color. So I am happy with my strips on the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and attach those as well as the top, and then I can start working on my embellishing clusters and what I want to do with the photos. So I am considering backing some of my photos, because if you look in Kristen's, there is tons of layers behind her photo. And so I'm going to contemplate that, and then I'm like, okay, I actually want to work on some embellishing. I'm a little scattered for this one. I couldn't tell you why, because honestly, I made this like 2 months ago. So I have the sticker sheet from the Flourish collection along with the chipboard. So that's what I am going to pull. So here she has this big like cluster of labels that is tucked in her layers. And I like that look. And so I wanted to kind of incorporate that with just some of the stickers. So I have that smile and what does the other one say down there? I'm not sure. And so then my thought was, if you kind of look at her layout, it does kind of look like there is a little bit of a diagonal. It's really more of like, I think initially when I was looking at it, it was reading to me as a diagonal, but now that I look at it, it's just 3 embellishment clusters that totally bring your eye into the photo. So my thought process was different than what I'm looking at it now. Isn't that funny? Like you can look at an inspiration piece and you get one thing from it, and then you look at it again and you get a totally different idea. So yeah, that's basically what's happening. And it's super fun because I am doing this voiceover pretty late. And so I've actually watched some of the process videos from the hop before I've actually done my voiceover, which I think last time I didn't. Like I did my layout, I did my voiceover, and I was done. But this time, for some reason, I was like, oh, I gotta post my layout. And then I was like, oh, I haven't done a voiceover. So yeah, so I don't completely remember what I did on the layout, but I know what the other ones did and how it started. And it's so funny to watch the progression because every time I've done this hop, most of the time I'm like towards the end. So I watched the first one and I'm like, am I even in the right group? Like my layout looks nothing like that. So then it's like, okay, who went rogue? Number one. But you watch the progression and it's not, this time it wasn't like somebody just went rogue. I feel like this time people pulled something, like I totally see where the inspiration followed, and just those slight tweaks make it different at the end, which is super cool. So I hope that you guys are hopping along. The other thing is we are not the only YouTube group. So if you just search in YouTube telephone hop, they come up. So that's what I have been kind of doing. I will have a link to everybody's channel for our hop. So if you're just starting with my layout, I would highly suggest that you go back to Katie's layout, who started it, and see where this started, because this layout right here really doesn't look like Katie's. Or, you know what would also be fun is to actually work backwards. I'm not sure. Anyway, I definitely encourage you to check out everybody's. My embellishing is very simple on this one. I did a cluster in the right upper hand corner. I have that kind of flowing diagonal design. I'm going to add my title that just says Congrats Bug, which is what we call her. And then they go all the way down to the right lower hand corner. I did do that little cluster with the deer because it's really cute, because we were camping. So I was like, yeah, that would totally work. I did contemplate using this princess, but as you can see, it's super long. I wouldn't even know how to turn that to even make it work. Like I'd have to like cut it up. Like I put it down thinking, yeah, that's good. And really, Crystal, that's not good. You got to take it up, like put it back. That looks crazy. And then on the same thicker sheet, there was Love Bug. And I was like, oh yeah, Bug totally works. And I'm totally going to make it fit in here. So, I hope that you enjoy this layout, and it is 2020, you guys. Like, I cannot believe that it is the new year, and there is going to be so much fun things happening this year or this decade. Like, this is going to be a big decade for us. Like, I know that seems crazy, but to think about, but this decade is going to be awesome. So I hope that you are having a wonderful new year already. And I got a close up for you. So remember to wear your crown, and we'll see you next time. So go to Rachel's channel tomorrow. Bye.